One of the main things that you're going to want to do is to create a watering schedule. This is going to help you get maximum yields from your plants, and it will help you have the best success gardening. So different plants have different water needs. This has to do with root depth. So you'll have shallow rooted crops, you'll have intermediate rooted crops, and then you have deep rooted crops. And according to what type of plant it is how often you'll water. So shallow rooted crops like lettuces and flowers, you'll want to water them twice a week. So their root depth is shallower, so you're watering for less time more frequently. For intermediate crops, you'll water once a week for a little bit longer. And then for deep-rooted crops like tomatoes and melons, you'll want to water about every 10 to 14 days for a longer period of time. So the reason for this is so that the water soaks deep into the ground and deep down into the roots. Tomato plants that are healthy and are grown exactly as they should be can have roots that reach a depth of 10 feet. So if you think of it in that way, you're trying to water long and deep. And then lettuce and flowers, they can have, their root depth is only about 12 inches. So you'll need to water more frequently for a shorter amount of time. So another important aspect of this is that you'll want to group plants according to their water needs. So you don't want to plant a tomato and lettuce next to each other, or one is going to suffer because they won't have their optimal water needs. The best way for me to manage my watering is to choose 2 watering days a week. So I choose Monday and Friday. And on both days, I'll water my shallow rooted crops. And then on Friday, each Friday, I water my intermediate depth rooted crops. And then I switch off every other Monday and Friday watering my deep rooted crops. And that's an easy way for me to manage and correctly water all of my vegetables and flowers. So when you make your watering schedule, the most important thing to remember is that it's much better to water long and deep rather than frequently or at sporadic times. If your irregular watering can actually cause disease in a lot of plants. Tomatoes are really susceptible to that, where if you're watering them in the same way that you're watering your grass, you're very likely to have disease and to have low yields and to have problems with your crop. So you'll want to make sure that you're on a regular schedule and that you're watering long enough so that the water can reach the deep roots and your plants can be as healthy as they can possibly be. So if you water correctly, you'll actually end up saving water and you'll end up being more water wise.